In this video I'm going to cover how to create a sidelight frame using the program Sketchup. And these same principles can be used to apply any dimension or any shape, size of frame that you can come up with. Alright, so what we're going to do is create a sidelight frame that's 10 feet wide. It'll have a single door in it with four light windows, and it'll be a standard height 7 feet 2 inches. Now when you first start up SketchUp, you'll see the menu come up. You'll see a button that says choose template. You want to click on that and make sure you choose the one simple and the one that's in feet and inches. And then at the bottom right you'll see another button that says start SketchUp. So after you click on that, this is the screen you'll see that you're looking at now. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to get rid of this person here because we don't want that showing up in our finished drawing. So we'll take the mouse, and you can see it kind of looks like a pencil right now. We'll just draw, I'm sorry, we don't want that. We want the arrow. Come back up here and we'll click the arrow. And we'll come up to edit, undo that line. Now that we have the arrow, we'll draw a little box around this person. So now you can see it's highlighted. Hit the delete key. So that's gone. The thing to remember about SketchUp, it is a 3D CAD type program, so you have three axes to think about. This is a blue axis going up and down. There's your green going this way, and then the red axis this way. And to move around, you have some links or buttons over here you can click on. For example, this first one says orbit. If I click on that, and then I get this little funny looking icon, if I hold my left mouse button down and start moving the mouse, you can see how I can move the aspect or the view around on the screen. Another one is this hand. If I click on the hand, I can move up and down, left and right. It keeps the same perspective, but I can move the thing around. And then the magnifying glass, if I hold the left mouse button down and move the mouse in and out, you can see I zoom in and zoom out. Now if you have a mouse with a scroll wheel, you can all do the same thing. Let me get the arrow back here. With the scroll wheel, you can scroll the wheel on the mouse, and that's the same as zooming in and out. Then if you hold the scroll wheel down, you'll get the orbit button. And then if you push the shift key down on the keyboard and then push the scroll wheel down, you get the hand. So there are several different ways you can do that. So you might want to practice moving around with the screen a little bit so you get accustomed to it. So what I'm going to do is kind of change our view about like that for right now. And the first thing I want to do is, these are our drawing tools over here on the left. They're also across the top. If you don't have this menu on the left, you can go to View, Toolbars, and click Large Tool Set, and that'll open up all this on the left side. Alright, the first thing we want to do is we want to draw a rectangle. And to do that, we're going to use the rectangle tool here. And if you move your mouse over these different icons, a little menu will pop up to tell you what that icon is. There's an eraser. That's to draw a line. That creates a circle. So you can play around with this and just do some different things to get familiar with the program. So we're going to create a rectangle. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool. We're going to come down here inside the green and red line. And there's the blue. We're going to start right about here. And I'm going to click the left mouse button one time and then let go. And then as I drag the mouse, you can see I'm drawing a box. So as I move the mouse, that determines what the shape or size of the box will be. Now also in the bottom right corner, you can see the dimensions. They're changing as I move the mouse. Before I click the mouse button again, So I'm still moving this box. What I want to do is, on the keyboard, I'm going to type 10 feet, and just to give you an idea, right now you can see the dimensions say 12 feet 5 3/8 inches, and then there's a comma, and then the second dimension is 2 feet 6 13/16 inches. I'm going to create a rectangle, and my rectangle is going to be the width of my sidelight frame, which is going to be 10 feet. So I'm going to type 10, and then I'm going to put a single apostrophe, single quote, and you don't have to do it, but you can do a space and then 0 and do a double quote, and that's the same as 10 feet 0 inches. And then do a comma, and my frame, I'm going to use a 5 3/4 inch deep frame. So I'm going to type 5 space 3/4 double quote for 5 3/4 inches. Now I'm going to hit the enter key, and there's my rectangle. And that would be the same as if I was up in the air. Let's get my arrow back here. We'll get the orbit too. If I was up in the air looking straight down on top of that frame, that's what I would see. Okay. Now we're going to zoom in a little bit, and what I want to do now is, first of all, get this back up inside the frame, out of the window. Now that I've got this gray box drawn, I want to raise this box up to what the height of the frame is going to be, which is going to be 7 feet 2 inches, just a standard height frame. So to do that, I want to come over to this push-pull tool. Click that, and I come down. You can see as I put my mouse over that square block, it changes, it gets a bunch of dots in it. That means I've kind of selected it. I haven't clicked the mouse yet or anything. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the mouse one time and then start moving the mouse. You can see what happens. I'm starting to pull this thing up out of the ground. So I can move the mouse up and down, and it changes that shape. In the bottom right hand corner, you can see the distance. It says, right now it says 2 feet 9 16 inches high. And the higher I go, the higher it gets. I want mine to be 7 feet 2 inches high. So that will be the height of the frame. So I'm going to type 7 single quote space 2 double quote, 7 feet 2 inches. Hit the enter key. Now I'm going to zoom out so I can get the whole thing inside the screen here. And you can see I've got this big block now. Now what I want to do is turn this so it's facing me more straight on. And to do that, I need to either hold the scroll key down or come over here to this orbit tool, click that, and I want to turn this around so it's facing me. Alright, just like that. Now I want to get the hand because I want to try to get this more in the center of my screen, like that. Let's adjust the orbit a little bit. So just so we can see a little bit of the depth here, you can see where it kind of goes back here, and it's 5 3/4 inches deep. Okay, we'll bring it back around. Now the thing I want to do is I want to start adding some dimensions to this block. Just kind of draw what my sidelight frame is going to look like. So I want to come over to this tape rule tool, the tape measure tool, click it, and you can see as I come on to the edge of my block, that little square block, right now it's blue, now it turns red. That means I'm on the edge. So I'm going to click once with the mouse, let go, and as I start moving the mouse, I get this dotted line. Right now it says 4 inches. This is going to be a 2-inch face frame. So again, you can see in the bottom right it says length 4 inches. I'm going to type 2 double quote and hit the enter key. And there's a 2-inch face. I'm going to do the same from this edge. Click once, drag down, type 2 double quote, hit enter. Do the same over here. And if you want to try to do it with the mouse alone, you can, but See, it's kind of hard to get it to just end on 2, so I'm just going to type it. It's a lot easier, a lot quicker. 2. Now my sill, I want that to be 4 inches high. So I click once, bring it up. Right there I've got 4, so I can click the mouse again, and there's my 4-inch sill. Now I want to put in my door. So my door is going to be on this side. Whatever side you want your door to be on, it doesn't really make any difference. But on this particular drawing, my door is going to be over here. So I'm going to get on this dotted line that I've already drawn. You can see it tells me when I'm on the line. Click once, drag this over, and I want this to be 3 feet 0 inches. So I'm going to type 3 single quote. You see in the bottom right corner I've got 3 feet. I don't have to put in the 0 for inches. Now I can just hit enter, and now I've got a 3 foot wide opening here. Now I need another 2-inch face. Type 2 inches, hit enter. Now I want to have 4 windows here. So I've got a 3 foot door, I've got 2 inches, 2 inches, I'll have 2 inches in here somewhere, and I've got 2 inches over here. So that means I've got 2 feet, 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches, plus 3 feet. So I've got 3 feet, 8 inches that I've used. This overall frame is 10 feet long. So if I subtract 3 feet, 8 inches from 10 feet, I get 6 feet, 4 inches. So I can divide 6 feet 4 inches by 2 because I'm going to have 2 windows, and that'll be 3 feet 2 inches. So I got to come to this line here, click once, drag over, then I'll type 3 feet space 2 inches, hit enter. There's my first window. Now I need a 2-inch face mullion, 2 inches, and there I've got the 2 windows. Now I want to divide this height into 2 windows to make my 4 window openings. So to do that, I know I'm 7 feet 2 inches high. I've got 2 here and 4 here. That's 6 inches. 6 inches from 7 feet 2 is 6 feet 8 inches. So if I divide 6 feet 8 by 2, that's 3 feet 4 inches. So I have to come down 3 feet. And again, I'll type 3 single quote space 4 inches, hit enter. And then from here, I'll come down 2 inches, hit enter. And there's the preliminary drawing of our window, or our sidelight frame. This will be the door, and this will be the 4 windows. Now, one thing else I want to do, you can see I don't have a dimension over here. Like I have 2 dotted lines here for 2 inches. I don't have anything here. So what I want to do is come over to this line up here. I'm going to click once, type 2 inches. I want to do the same thing here. Come up 2 inches. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Come over 2 inches. And the same thing down here, but this time I'm going to come down 4 inches. Oop, see, I went the wrong way. That line is not correct. So I can either come up here to the edit and click on undo guide, and that'll take that out. Another option is to take the eraser. Well, I clicked on it, but you can also take the eraser and click on it, and that will also erase that line. Okay, so come back over here to this tool. Now I'm coming down, so I want, see how right now it's green. That's because it's using the green axis. I want to keep moving this around until I've got the blue axis is right there. A little bit difficult to work with sometimes. There we go. Now I've got 4, which is the blue axis, which is up and down. Now I can click the mouse, and there's my 4-inch dimension there. Now what we want to do is get our door to take these openings out of here. To do that, I want to come back up to the rectangle tool, and we want to come up here into this corner. You can see how I've got a little blue dot now. If I move onto the line, it's a red dot. If I move where these two intersect, it changes to an X, and it says intersection. That's what I want. I want that intersection. Click once, and I'm going to draw a big rectangle in here. I'm going to come down here until I get another intersection, and click again. Now I've got a box in here. I want to do the same thing for each window. There's my intersection. Click once, click again, click once, click again, click once, again, and again. So there's my 4 windows and my door. Now we need to get the openings, get it opened up. And to do that, we've got this rectangles drawn. We're going to come back over here to this push-pull tool. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to scroll in a little bit so we get a better perspective. You can see as I move it over the door opening, the whole thing turns to dots. I'm going to click once with the mouse, and as I start moving the mouse, you see how I'm pushing that block right there to where it says on face. Click again. Boom, it's gone. Now I want to do the same thing with each window. Click once, on face. Click again. Come here. Sometimes this gets a little funky. I gotta move in a different direction on face. That's because you got to remember we're looking at a 3D perspective, which means the way this thing is drawn, I'm actually standing right in front of this, and if I look over to my left, that's what I see. If I look over to my right, that's what I see. So for this panel, if I click once, I have to kind of move the mouse to the upper right until I get on face. I'll click. This panel, I'll click once. I have to move up to the upper left. I get on face. There's our sidelight frame. Now, we need to get some dimensions on here so we know what size this thing is. So I'm going to use my scroll wheel to scroll out a little bit. First thing I want to do is I'm going to add some dimensions for the face of the frame. So to do that, let's see, this is a dimension tool right here. If I click on that, you see it tells me when I get on the line, click once, I'm on the line again, it says 4 inches. I'll click again. Sometimes you have to click twice for that thing. Now, see, it's kind of hard to read, so I want that 4 inches out of there. If I put my mouse over it, see how it turns blue, I'll right click, go to text position, and I'm going to click on outside start. So that moved it outside here, but it moved it down. I'd rather have it up here, so I'm going to click again, or right click on this again. Again, it's a right mouse button. Come to text position, I'm going to click outside end. That put it at the other side. So I'm going to do the same thing with each one of these. Click once, 2. Like I said, you have to double click this thing to get it to stop, and then we'll right click here, text position, outside end. Now I want that one to go up. Outside start. There we go. Okay. Hold the shift key down, hold the scroll wheel down. We'll move this down so I can get better perspective. I'm going to do the same thing with each one of these. Right click, text position, right click, oop, that's not right, there we go. text position. So you want to keep clicking that mouse until those red dots go away. But make sure it says 2 inches. Okay, that takes care of that. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit with my scroll wheel on my mouse. Now I want to get some dimensions for the doors and the lights. So to do that, come back over to the dimension tool, click that. You can see as I move over on, hit the edge of that frame right there, it turns blue. That's what I want. I'm going to click once, pull that out. See, it says 7 feet. So that's a 7-foot opening. So I'm click the mouse again. I'm going to do the same thing with each one of these windows. 3 feet 4. Be careful, if you see midpoint, don't click. Move up here. Now see how I got the blue edge? But if I come back to midpoint, I don't have the blue edge again. Stay away from the midpoint. I want the blue edge. Like that. Same thing down here for this window. I want to line it up with this one, keep it nice and neat. And same thing over here. See how it kind of popped into place when it lined itself up with that one. Okay, that's that one. Now I want to do the width. So we'll do the door first. See it turning blue there. Drag it down. There's my 3-foot door. It's blue. There's my 3-foot 2-inch window. There's another window. Oh. That one. That one. Scroll out a little bit. Let's get this. Use our, first of all, the hand, which is the Shift key, or come over here and click this. Move this more into the middle of the window. Use the orbit button to turn it. And there's our frame. Now, if you want to spend more time with this, you can take this a step further and actually put stops on this frame. Right now, it kind of looks like a cased open frame, I understand that, but if you just want to do a quick drawing, right here you have it. You could have another sheet that shows the frame profile with the stop and everything. Otherwise, if you want to put the stop in it, I'm not going to do this whole thing, but we'll step through it kind of quick. I want to orbit this around a little bit like that. Then I want to zoom in with my mouse. Let's get the hand. We'll do this little section of the frame here. We'll put a stop in it. Do an orbit. Turn this around a little bit more. Actually, let's turn it this way, away from that 3-foot 4 dimension. And we'll do it on this section here. So to put a stop on this frame, we're going to do the same thing. First thing we want to do is get some dimensions, or get the tape measure tool. Get here to that edge, and again, stay away from the midpoint. Come back up here where it's red. Click once, and let's see, I can't remember what axis I'm looking at here. So this will be, I'm going to type 1 foot, I'm sorry, not 1 foot, 1 space 3/4 inches. And that's not correct. See, this should be inside here. This is where it gets a little touchy. You have to make sure you get into the on the right axis. And the one I'm trying to hit is this green axis here. I'm actually on, I think it was the red axis. Let's go zoom back in. So I'm going to grab the eraser to show you how that works. See, that line's gone. Come back over, get my dimension tool again. This time Maybe I need to zoom in some more. Dimension tool would stay away from that midpoint. Oh yeah, okay, green axis, that's the one I want. So the first rabbit's going to be 1 space 3/4 inches. Hit the enter key. I want to come over this way. Let's say this is an unequal rabbit frame. So this one's going to be 1 space 3/8 inches. Now we'll zoom out a little bit. Let's grab the hand and pull this down so we can kind of get the whole section in view. Now I'm going to come over and grab my rectangle tool again. Come up and hit this intersection. I got the X. Just simply draw another box. Hit that intersection here. Click the mouse again. Now I want to grab my push-pull tool. Now you see I have it highlighted. See how it comes out? I want to make this, actually it's right there, 5/8 of an inch. So I can click the mouse again. And there's my 5/8 inch stop on the frame. So, like I said, you can go around the frame and put one in each section if you want to spend a little more time and really do a detailed drawing. Let's turn this back around. You can see your stop there. So I could add stop all the way around to wherever I want it, wherever I need it. We'll zoom out. Let's get this centered up. Get the orbit tool. There's our sidelight frame. And like I said, these same principles can be used to create any size frame that you should need, any shape or size. Now the only thing with the free version is getting this into a like a PDF or a file that you can attach to a set of drawings or something. So to do that, I'm going to zoom in. I want to get as much of this into the window as possible. Let's take it out just one notch. Fill the window up as much as possible. So I'm going to come over here to File, Save As. Oh, I'm sorry, not that. File, Export. And we're just going to do a 2D graphic. And your options on the free version are BMP, JPG, TIFF, or PNG. So save, call it whatever you want. This will be SidelightFrame. We'll make it a JPEG. That's a pretty common file. And then click Export. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to, because this is the way this is recording, but what I can do now, I've saved this to my hard drive as a JPEG file. Now I can use a program like Nero or even Microsoft Word and import that into a Microsoft Word document and then save the Microsoft Word document as a PDF file. And then I've got a PDF document. So that's just a little workaround. If you want to spend the extra money, you can buy the full version, and the full version will allow you to export this directly into a PDF. You can also export it to different types of let's see what else we have here. 3D model. There's a DAE format, KMZ, Google Earth. Just some different options there. Okay. Alright, so that should do it. Again, use the same principles to create any... Oh, one more thing. We don't want to leave, and I shouldn't have exported that yet, I don't want to leave all these dotted lines on here. Let's, if I can remember... edit, oh, right here, delete guides. If I click that, now I've lost my guides for here. That didn't work too well. Let's do edit, undo, erase. We'll put those back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the line tool and just draw little lines. Oop, that's not right. Take that back out of there. Well, I know what it is. We need to get rid of that extra line. Undo, draw line. Draw a line. Click my arrow to get rid of that. Come back to draw line. There might be an easier way, but just look through the documentation if you like. We don't have to keep going back and forth. Okay, so just to cut this a little short, now you can see I've got little lines. I could go through and add those at each one of these 2 and 4 inch dimensions. Now if I come up to edit, delete guides, now I kept the lines. See, I would have added those here also. All right, so that's your 3D frame. That should do it for now. Thanks.